What's up, Falcon fans? This is the Week 3 preview versus the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday night primetime football episode. And if you guys like this type of content, hit that like button. If you guys hate this type of content, hit that dislike button or hurt your boy's feelings. Well, maybe just a little bit, but if you want to do a huge favor for your boy by hitting that subscribe button, it will help out the empire grow. So on that note, let's get started with the Kansas City Chiefs. So Falcon fans are going to ask themselves, what do the Kansas City Chiefs run when it comes to the offense side of the ball? Well, Andy Reid really likes to use the West Coast gun style, but in his own version of it. So that kind of means it's a short to intermediate pass-first offense that is run out of the shotgun, according to ArrowheadPride.com. Now, looking back on how Patrick Mahomes performs when he starts off the season with 3 games is quite remarkable. So we will be taking a closer look at his 2020 through 2023 performance when it comes to those 3 games. And of course, we're going to compare them in 2024 as well. But in 2020 through 2023, he did a pretty good job in touchdown and interception ratio, completion percentage, total passing yards, and big play mobility. And a big part of that was because they had the cheetah in Tyreek Hill and of course Travis Kelce, the tight end, where they were dominating right out of the gates before 2022, where Tyreek Hill was traded to the Miami Dolphins. But the crazy thing is that Patrick Mahomes still dominated the competition with 12 wins and 4 losses. Even though he didn't have all pro stats wide receiver, he still has some ballers on the field like Hardman, Robinson, Watkins, Pringle, Gordon, Smith-Schuster, Valdez-Scantling, Watson, and more. That's quite remarkable. Of course, now in their 2024 season, they have Rashid Rice, second-year wide receiver out of SMU, where he has 12 receptions for 178 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. And of course, new speedster, first round, 28th overall pick, Xavier Worthy from Texas, where he has 4 receptions for 64 receiving yards, 1 touchdown, and in the running game, he has 2 carries for 26 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown. Side note, I've been hearing a lot of talk about Patrick Mahomes not doing Patrick Mahomes things. Take this as a grain of salt. Clearly, Patrick Mahomes hasn't been looking up to par where he could have against the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals, where they did struggle, but they did find a way to win, and that's how it is at the end of the day. You got to win those games no matter what, if it's a blowout or not. But I do understand that some people are concerned because his passing yards is not up to par, especially the touchdown and interception ratio is not looking good, and he's been sacked way more times than he would like to have in the beginning of the season. So I understand about that department, but still, it's Patrick Mahomes. So now let's talk about the run game. This is really huge news for the Atlanta Falcons defense because Kansas City Chiefs running back star Isaiah Pacheco will be out for at least 6 weeks in IR, and also Clyde Edwards-Helaire will be out for this game with an injury. So that means they will have Carson Steele and Samadre P. Ryan, and then of course now they say they have Kareem Hunt as well. So I don't know how that'll work on the back duo. But anyways, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are not really known for the run attack, so this is a good opportunity to shut them down in this game. So let's talk about the defensive side of the ball. The Kansas City Chiefs defense plays a 4-3 scheme under Steve Spagnuolo, and sometimes they like to play a 3-4 at some particular intervals, but they really are versatile in adaptability. They like to mix a lot of man and zone coverages. They also like attacking style. Spagnuolo looks to bring pressure and aggressiveness, especially when blitzing, and it shows because they had 57 total sacks last year. They had 8 forced fumbles, and they had 16 interceptions, and they also like to use personnel force on the speed and athleticism. Kind of really means like the Chief values fast playmakers who can rush the passers from multiple positions, and that is a scary combination because we have to watch out for Jalen Watson, the cornerback, Justin Reed, the safety, Nick Bolton, the linebacker, the other linebacker, and Drew Tranquill. Then of course you got Trent McDuffie, corner, George Karlaftis, the defensive end, of course, Chris Chris Jones, the defensive tackle, and we don't know where they're going to get lined up because they could get lined up anywhere on the map and they will blitz the crap out of anybody. So the Atlanta Falcons offensive line have to be prepared to make sure that Kirk Cousins does not get hit in this game. Fear not, my Falcon fans. One of their biggest weakness on this defense is the passing game when it comes to quarterback, because they have allowed 535 total passing yards to the opponents. So they rank second to dead last in giving up the most receiving yards. And when it comes to the run attack, they rank number 17 in stopping the run, where they've given up 259 total rushing yards to the opponents. Fantastic job. Now let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons side of the ball. This defense has not fallen from grace. It ranks number 7 when it comes to total passing yards that the quarterbacks are allowed, with 339 total passing yards allowed. That's fantastic work compared to the old days where we were just giving quarterbacks left and right 300 yards, 400 yards, 500 yards, etc. You know, it does feel a little weird to say that when Ryan Nelson left for the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive coordinator job, that the Atlanta Falcons will go back and being one of the worst defense in NFL history for the longest. But you know what? Jimmy Lake really took this by the horn as our brand new first-time defensive coordinator, and he has been doing excellent work in a lot of categories. I'm fantastic with this progress, but the only one thing I am kind of concerned that is we cannot stop the run, unfortunately, because we ranked number 27 in stopping the run with 323, but we have not given a single rushing touchdown so far this season, and we did that last season as well. The only time we did give up rushing touchdowns was against the quarterback, and then of course Jamal Williams from the Saints last year. Sorry about that, but besides that, I like the pressure, I like the hurries, I love the quarterback hits, and of course I love Matthew Judon, the linebacker that the Atlanta Falcons traded for with the Patriots, where he has 12 tackles, a sack and a half, and 2 tackle for losses. And of course Jesse Bates III that saved us from that game against the Philadelphia Eagles with that interception. And of course Caden Ellis, who is our tackling machine with 20 total tackles so far this season. And of course you can't forget about Godzilla, number 97, who's just always the beast, always trying to get the hurries, always seeking after the quarterback no matter where he's at. So this defense is definitely stacked, and they have a golden opportunity to shut down the run game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and when they do that, they can focus all their main forces on against Patrick Mahomes. So now let's talk about the offensive side of the ball. All I can say about Kirk Cousins now is he looked comfortable in the second half against the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think that's going to be a really huge momentum moving forward. Obviously, we all know against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are in the top 5 in total defense, he did not look good at all. 155 total passing yards, and then 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, really bad. But then he was sacked twice. But compared to the Eagles, 241 total passing yards, 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, and 1 sack, but he had a passer rating of 117. So obviously the key element for Kirk Cousins' success is the offensive line play. We have to make sure the offensive line will not get bullied, making sure that Kirk Cousins doesn't get rattled, and making sure that the offensive line can move the chain with ease, with easy gameplay by the coordinators, and also making sure that the offensive line will dominate the defensive side of the ball with ease. So currently we rank number 19 in total passing yards with 36 total receptions for 396 total receiving yards and 3 wide receiving touchdowns in the air. And of course, Darnell Mooney with 3 big time plays for 103 receiving yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 receptions so far in 2 games. So this might shock you guys. So far, we rank number 17 when it comes to total rushing yards, where we have 50 carries for 241 rushing yards, and we have 0 touchdowns, and we don't have any big plays that are over 20 plus yards. But we have to remember, you guys, this is not going to be the heavy run tone Atlanta Falcons anymore, because we're adapting the Rams 3 wide receiver spread type of style. But that's not just mean that we have to neglect our running backs in Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, because they are both capable running backs to get you big yardage, move the chains, and be playmakers on the backfield. No question about it. So now let's talk about the final verdict. So in conclusion, I actually have the Atlanta Falcons shocking the NFL world once again that we will beat the Kansas City Chiefs 30-26. Now, before I get a lot of hate from the Chiefs fans over here, I want to stress this out. If the Kansas City Chiefs were going to face the Atlanta Falcons in Week 10 or later, I say the Kansas City Chiefs will win automatically, easily, hands down, because Patrick Mahomes is a beast, and we see what he can do during the mid of the season. But since the Atlanta Falcons are going to catch them slipping early on this season, the Atlanta Falcons will have a chance to win, grab victory in the A-Town. So if you guys lasted this long to the very end of the episode, thank you so much for taking your own personal time and day to watch these Falcon content videos. I love making videos for you guys. So what do Falcons do? Rise up. Until the next episode, show love and peace to the world, and peace.